Hello and welcome to Tyrannus Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to make our drifter, and by proxy our operator, not look so old, decrepit, and out of shape. Let's get started. Now the first thing you're going to notice is that our drifter and our operator appears to not have any makeup on, obviously aside from the fancy eyeliner. As you can see, the option is you can also just cover up the face and not bother at all. So if we go into Appearance, you will notice that we have different abilities to change, well, our default settings. Let's go to Features here, and as you can see, we have a 47 visage, a 96 visage, and we have it set to 0.61, and we have Complexion A92 with a bright complexion tint because we don't like to look human, and as you can see, we can look like an alien. But as you can also see, our particular color is not highlighted, so use whatever you feel comfortable with. And as you can see, our tint vibrancy is in fact not set to 0.05, because that would look more human. Instead, we like to look like we have a spotlight on our face, like we're obsessed with TikTok. And if we go to body type, we can have it set to where our chest is too big, or we're pear-shaped. As these are body type 1 and 2, and God forbid, we use the term male and female, because that would be disingenuous, as our character is just barely qualified as human. As you can see, our eye color here is red and pink. And we can also set the glow strength up, which actually changes the vibrancy of the eye color, thus making us look like our eyes are on fire. And as you can see, there are many new types of makeup. We have the Balika, or Balika, enabled. And as you can see, the different schools also have new makeups as well, depending on if you max them out or not. We're going to go ahead and use the bone white here in the center, in order to give ourselves a natural skin tone. And when I say natural, this is regardless of color, because depending on the color of the skin, this will actually shade with it very well. Black, on the other hand, also shades really well too. And as you can see, we have bone white, black, 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 because if you're not black... Wait, hold on, I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway, if you go to brown X09, we happen to have very thin eyebrows, because we belong to the Organ Empire, and beauty is our first standard. Obviously, if you want fluffy eyebrows, and look like you're smuggling caterpillars, that's on you. And as you can see, this is one of the new hair pieces called Braid Hairpiece. Or the Braid Headpiece, I guess. If you pay attention to all the hairstyles there, which I am not going to go through today, we're using black, black, red, black, black. Anyway, the point of this is that all the hairstyles were revamped as of the new update. The markings were also updated so they don't look as ridiculous. Even the default one makes you look like you belong to a gang. And if we go to the voice here, they did not do any updated voices and the character still sounds like they have a frog.
Too old to cry and too young to die. When I think of the things I used to be afraid of, I almost feel sorry for them. When I think of the things I used to be afraid of, I almost feel sorry for them.
And the best part is, the voices actually save depending on which loadout you have.
When I think of the things I used to be afraid of, I almost feel sorry for them.
By the way, this mask piece is one you get after completing the new story mission. It is called the Operator Atmosphere. And well, I also have the mouse and mirror piece. If you look down, we have the Kuberdon Vent Kid Cuirass and the rest of the armor enabled, in order to give ourselves a very, I would hesitate to say modern look, but sort of like a comic book character look. You'll also notice that we have the Zariman loaded out, because I do a bit of recording. If we go over to our A1 here, this is the default appearance we have. This is a combination of the Emissary sleeves and the Lark Bashamo outfit. The Emissary can be achieved doing the Nightwave, and the reason I use the Goth hood is for a nice little cover. Or we could just go back and default to the mask again. But this is the makeup I'm currently choosing to use on my characters, because as far as I'm concerned, it matches the overall aesthetic of the game itself. And as you can see, this is our drifter build. And I gotta be honest, I might have to do this recording because I just realized that the audio for the background is going to be playing twice. Doesn't that suck? Anyway, you will notice that we are not using any attachments, but I wasn't kidding when I said we're using the Visage 4796 with a 0.61 and a complexion of A92 with a bright tint and a vibrancy that, again, looks like we're using a ring light. And if we go over here to eyes, you will notice I'm using the exact same loadout. This is not necessary, this is just to show you the difference between the two characters, and I mostly use it for recording some of the older missions, where I did, that's why I had this set up to begin with. And as you'll notice, she has a very natural tone and a very natural look. Again, tone has nothing to do with skin color, don't freak out. And if you do, please freak out in the comments and spam it so I get some attention. It makes me feel loved. And as you'll notice, we're using the Amorous ink, and that's my settings. Don't be surprised if they don't add up if you try it yourself.
Maybe I don't quit because this is the only game I can win.
Which is absolutely not true given the fact of Warframe state. You can't actually win the game. And the joke's on you because you all just lost the game. And as you can see, I'm not a fan of using a mask to cover up the face, but we're going to do it for this particular moment. We zoom up here, double tap no, and then we have ourselves the default appearance. As you can see, my operator and drifter look infinitely better than yours. And yeah, we're using Rusalka's hairstyle. Rusalka's Rusalka, Russian, the Russian chick. Anyway, we utilize her hair because we like to look like the villain. Anyway, that's all I got for today. And yeah, let's go look at this character in the natural light source. By natural, of course, I mean with a brighter ring light. Anyway. And as you can see, she actually looks quite pretty. Well, anyway, go ahead and tell me what you think of my drifter and operator. And go ahead and share what your settings are in the comments section so other players can try it out too. Love y'all, and take care.
Cast and cry, raise the million pylons high. All our kin were bound to fly for that far shore forlorn. Onward high, who but we may tame the sky? Who but we shall distant die on that far shore forlorn? Velvet blue the meadows lie, though the haughty ones defy. Gold shall never break our tie to that far shore forlorn. Onward high, who but we may tame the sky? Who but we shall distant die on that far shore forlorn? Mouth to mouth and eye to eye, sleep where comets whisper by, sleep while constellations sigh of that far shore